Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. I sell used books, CDs, and DVDs online on platforms like eBay and Amazon, and that is what I do full-time support my family. Today is Monday morning. Yeah, it's Monday morning. We got 30 orders going out today. Somewhat less than what we normally have, but the dollar amount was pretty decent here. I think we had like a $600 payout from eBay today. $688 actually. So I was very happy to see that. But only 30 orders, so we have less shipping to do, which is nice. We do have one giant order. Some guy ordered all these CDs, so we will be shipping those out. We got a few random things in here today that we will be talking about, like this knob to my old washing machine. But we're going to get right into it. Start shipping here today. Yeah. First up, this is a set of china. I do not sell very much china anymore. These are just teacups. Buyer is all in here today. Oh, real quickly, somebody asks every single week what I am using for shipping. I'm using Veeqo, Veeqo. Yeah, that's what I use to do my shipping. Somebody always asks because that is what I'm doing every week whenever you guys are watching these videos. Yeah, let's see. This box weighs 3 pounds, 12. We are not going to be doing any UPS ground today because I do not feel like I'm not going to be going in. Man, maybe I should do Ground Saver today. Ground Saver UPS $8.43 to ship this. Ground Advantage Cubic would be $12.90. So is it worth driving to town to save $4 on this package? Yeah, I think we're going to do that because there's probably going to be some more today that are worth it. So we're going to UPS today. I was not planning on it, but now, because the very first package of the day, we're saving $4 by shipping it out UPS. If there's any other UPS, we'll send them that way as well. But, that's what we got. Up next, we got this Chronicles of Oklahoma. I sell these all the stinking time. If you look on eBay, nobody else sells these for as much money as I do because I ask more money for mine. The reason I know I can ask more money is like this particular volume, nobody else had it. There are some other random volumes on there that some people have, and they're just not asking enough money. These take forever to sell, and this is going to be true. Like a lot of the historical societies of other states have these. I've seen them for Florida, Georgia, different places like that. And these can easily demand $20 plus shipping. I think I accepted an offer of $18 plus shipping. That's what it looks like anyways here. The buyer is all in $23.22. They do take a while to sell, but I am not at all worried about that. Also, how's the quality of the video today? I'm using a different phone today. I just record on an iPhone, although usually I record on this little red one right here. But this little red one, I forgot to plug in last night, or Friday whenever I quit working out here. And right now it's only 8% charged, so we're going to use what is actually my personal phone. We're going to use that today. So hopefully the quality is the same. The reason I don't usually use it is because typically the storage on it is like filled up. And I don't know if I can get an hour's worth of video on there, so we shall see. Up next, sewing machine part to Singer 6268. That's the model number. My title on this is real easy. Singer 6268 sewing machine replacement OEM part. Don't even have the name of the part on it. Buyer is all in $23.80. This is going to ship out at 4-ounce Ground Advantage. Reminder, I probably paid $30 or less for this sewing machine. $23 coming to me from this one. I mean, I did have to buy a label out of that $23. I did have to buy shipping supplies. I did have to pay eBay fees and all that good stuff. But you know what? That is not too shabby. All right, guys, I want to talk to you real quick about Thrift Books. They are today's video sponsor. Thrift Books is one of the largest sellers of used books online, and they want to buy books from you. But the question is, why would you want to sell your books to them instead of selling them yourselves online on platforms like eBay and Amazon? And there's a bunch of different reasons. Number one, logistics. If you are sending your books to Thrift Books, you don't have to grade them yourself. So you don't have to condition them. You don't have to put that extra time and care into a book like you would need to if you were selling it on eBay or Amazon. No photos, no listing, no nothing. Just throw it in a box, ship it off to them. They provide free shipping labels via media mail, which can be picked up at your door with USPS. Or if you're shipping whole truckloads, pallets, gaylords, whatever that is, they will handle the shipping for you. Just reach out to them, talk to them. They do an amazing job with this. Also, there's no additional fees. Whatever they quote you is what they're going to pay you. You're going to get money in your pocket right away. If you're selling on eBay or Amazon, you're going to have to wait for that sale and then wait a few days, a few weeks, a few months, maybe with Amazon to actually get your money out. But with them, as soon as they get things checked in and it's all good, they're going to send you money either via PayPal or store credit that you can use right away. So that is absolutely great. Very fast turnover. Get the money back in your pocket right away. Also, if you have like list of ISBNs, like you want to upload 100 or 200 ISBNs at a time, they do have bulk ISBN uploads. You can get through things super duper fast that way. No like scanning things one at a time and doing all that. They do have the option to like upload tons of ISBNs all at once. And with this, doing all this, it's going to allow you to spend less time selling the books. You're going to be able to spend more time on your business, more time developing relationships, more time working on your processes. And you know what? If you want to check them out, go to thriftbooks.com/buyback, which I'll put a link down in the description below, and you can get started that way. Anyways, back to the video. Up next, I can't pronounce that. Like those characters, I can't even read. It's not English. Looks like Russian or something like that to me. Buyer paid $18.87. Let's talk about bubble wrapping CDs. It's something I've always done in the past, but I've decided I've got a new plan for it. And this came from a commenter. I add it around it, the CD, and put it in the bubble mailer. And that just takes a little extra time, and it takes one more foot of bubble wrap. It doesn't really affect the weight. This is still under 4 ounces. However, it takes some time for me to do. And I'm only going to do it moving forward if the buyer paid at least $15 total for the CD, or if the CD is like signed on the jewel case in front. Actually, if it's signed on the jewel case in front, typically throwing those in a box. But that's one change I am making, kind of cheaping out a little bit on some lower dollar stuff, just to save some time, save some money. Up next, we will win a preview of the 2002 San Diego Chargers. How did they do in 2002? Did they win? I have no idea. I would have been 12 at the time. Did not really care. Don't really care nowadays either. That one is 4 ounces. And let's see. Ground advantage is cheaper than media mail, wherever that is going. Going to Texas. We sold a couple of maps over the weekend. I don't have that many maps in the store, although I did just list 40 maps like this. These are all from the year like about 1900. I'm going to see if I can open this thing up. You can see it in there. This one is much larger than many of the others. These maps here, this 40 that I recently listed, are like reports from the USGS, and it was part of this big report that they put out. I think it was the year 1900, 1901, somewhere in the ballpark. So I took them all out of there, separated them, listed them for $60 a piece. This one I accepted an offer for I think $30 for, just because I hadn't sold any yet. I wasn't real sure if that price of $60 is appropriate or not. But yeah. This one is of like Minnesota Pine Mountain or something like that. Now, maps do not qualify. Maybe they could qualify for media mail. I don't think they do personally. If you are like claiming that it is educational materials, technically you can get through with media mail. I'm just going to send this out ground advantage and call it a day. This one definitely going to send it out ground advantage. This is a geological highway map. Highway maps are usually not good. but geological maps are. I'm pretty sure these came from the same estate. These did come from a guy that gets me some estate sale leftovers. I got them from him at different times, but I think they did come from the same estate. Excuse me. This one went for, where is it? Buyer is all in $24.47. Maps can be hit or miss. I don't sell a ton of them. One thing I do like about maps is even if they're worthless, you can still lot them up, bundle them up, put 50 of them in a box or something, and get some decent money out of them. And so that's one of the things I like about maps is if you're buying them cheap enough, you cannot lose money because you can always sell them off in giant lots. Books, if you're buying crappy books, it doesn't matter how cheap they are. You can't get your money out of them because nobody wants them. There's like some books out there that like there's just no demand for whatsoever. No matter how big of a lot you really make for it. We just dropped that book. It's okay. The Rolling Rice Ball. Kind of like some sort of vintage children's book. Interesting. Buyer is all in $13.47. Going to Washington State. Is anybody in my comment section like that ships out kind of like I do? Does anybody keep track of where all they send their packages to? I think that would be fun to do for like a little bit, like track like how quickly I can get a package to all 50 states. I don't know. Just eBay. I would not include Amazon in that by any means, but just eBay. I think that would be fun to do, but I don't know. It's also one of those things that it's just fun, and I'm not going to make any money from doing that. So why would I do it, I guess? Bob Merrill, 5th reader, state of Kansas. These readers, a lot of people think they're worth good money, but I find unless they're in really, really good condition, they're typically not worth much because it seemed like everybody and their dog saved these things. Probably because they were nostalgic, and they're so old at this point that the people that saved them are passing on, and just like every estate sale seems to have a couple of them in it. It's not something usually the kids or the grandkids want that's been left behind. This one's been in the store a really long time. Buyer is all in $9.62. This is not something I would list today because I believe I listed this at like $7, $8 plus shipping. But it's in the store. We've already done the job of listing it. We've already done the job of photographing it. It's fine to ship it out, make a few bucks. Something I would still list today, but I would list higher, and I might separate these out now. This is 3 programs from the Cherokee National Holiday. Now, Cherokee National Holiday is over Labor Day weekend, and that's actually coming up. And these are from 1987, 1986, and 1989. Pretty neat. Are these staying local here? Yes, they're staying in Oklahoma. I'm going to add just a little bit of cardboard here because these are super flimsy. That just helps keep them a little more rigid as they go throughout the mail system. These do have ads, so they do not qualify for media mail. But I would have listed these higher. Buyer is all in $11.69. They did take forever to sell, but I don't think it's the price that made them take forever to sell. I think it's just somebody looking for Cherokee National Holiday stuff. Doesn't happen very often. And when it does happen, they're going to pay, they wouldn't mind paying $20, $30 probably. But here, they got away paying $11.69 because I had them listed lower and they were on sale. This is something that honestly did not need to go on sale to sell, but it got caught up in one of my sales. Up next, Enigma, the River of Belief. We're missing the front artwork here. The reason I actually looked this one up, I don't know if you can see it on the back there. There's a lot of glare. This says promo for promotional use only. That type of stuff I'm always looking up. always researching. It's not always worth listing. This one was, the buyer is all in $14.47. Since it's under 15 bucks, we are no longer sticking bubble wrap with them. And there we go. 4 ounces. Not bad. And where is this going? Illinois. Let's see if Illinois is cheaper. Ground Advantage or Media Mail, because I have no idea. Ground Advantage is cheaper, $4.35. It's pretty cool. This one just sold a second ago. This tiny little blue book. It does not look like much. If we look, buyer's all in $25.50 for this thing. What is the title of this? George of Lydda? Yeah. No idea. Soldier, Saint, Martyr. So, some sort of like religious type thing there with that word martyr. We've also got soldier in there. That really helps. I think we're just going to throw this in a bubble mailer. Will it fit in this one? And call it a day. There we go. One thing I switched to when I moved here is a taller trash can right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Like, and that helps so much for flicking those little ends off that you get whenever you are closing up the bubble mailers. Like, makes it so much better. Having a shorter trash can, it's harder to flick those things into. I guess because it's right at my hand level, so I can't miss. I'm probably saving myself an hour or 2 a month from having to pick up little pieces off the floor just by switching to that trash can. And it's little things like that in this business that if it can save you an hour a month or 2 hours a month, little changes that can really add up. Up next, we got Ye Olde Recipe Book, Hopkins County Senior Citizen Center, Madisonville, Kentucky. So this is one of those local community type cookbooks. Remember, if you're selling those, the most important keywords in there are the town, the state, and the county. Like the title, Ye Olde Cookbook, not that important, but it's nice to have if you can fit it into the title, which I did manage to fit it into the title this time. This one does weigh under 1 pound. A lot of these are 2 pounds, so that's cool to see. Buyer was all in $21.42. Up next, we have some CDs. I listed these on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. One day last week, I went and bought, I think it was about 500 CDs and a tote of records. I think I paid $100 total for everything. Let me get that notification off the screen there. Oh. Hang on. There's a kid that came in here because there's a bug under the couch. I'm needed. I'll be right back. Is this working? Yeah, I think so. All right, we're back. Took care of the cricket, so there was cricket. Anyways, I was talking about these CDs. But I think it was around 500 CDs and a tote full of records for like $100. Facebook Marketplace deal popped up. She didn't have the best listing because she had like 17 things she was trying to sell in the listing, but glad to see that. And her collection was very nicely organized, very clean. If I'd known that, I could have paid more, but like nothing was scratched. Also, things were arranged by artists, which I love because then I can build lots like this. These are 5 Celine Dion CDs. Would normally not like try to sort through and match up things by artist, but her stuff was already arranged by artist. So if after sorting out the Amazon stuff, I noticed that that artist had at least 4 CDs that were sitting there that were all by the same artist, I pulled those to the side and listed them for, I think I did a flat rate. I think I did $15 plus shipping for 4 CDs, all by the same artist. I didn't take any time to do any extra research to see if some artists were selling better than others. Just kind of kept that flat. Did accept an offer on this one. I think I accepted a $10 offer plus shipping. Buyers all in $14.47. That doesn't sound right. Maybe I accepted an $8 offer. I don't remember. But anyways, these are CDs I would not normally be able to monetize easily. So, you know what? If I got an extra $8-10 out of these, that's better than I could putting them through the system in some other way, selling them off in a lot that's sorted by genre or something else. So don't normally sort CDs by artist, but if they're already pre-sorted by artist for me, because I'm buying a collection like I did the other day, then that's great. What is this? The Passing of the Great Race, maybe? I don't know. It was really hard to read. Picked this up at a thrift store the other day, paid $1 for it. Sold it on eBay. Buyer is all in $26.62, which love to see that. Pretty sure that paid probably for the whole trip to that thrift store. I did not get too terribly much there. And the interesting thing is, this sold before the Amazon stuff even got checked in. And that's kind of one thing I'm noticing a lot more right now. I'm able to keep up with my eBay listings. And my eBay stuff, some of it is actually selling faster than my Amazon stuff right now, because I'm listing it so stinking quickly. I do not have any sort of backlog for eBay whatsoever. A big part of that is because I am using some of these AI listers that I've been trying out. I got to try out, crap, what is the name of this? These names, List Easier. That's the one I got to try out over the weekend. The video for that might have came out before this one. Not real sure, but I'm excited about it. I want them to get a couple more categories added. If they do that, it's going to be ready for the masses. And it's available now, I think, to everybody. But they only have certain categories right now. And that's probably the biggest detractor to using it for some people. Cookbook. Vintage Musical Applications of Microprocessors by Hal Chamberlain. What is this from? 1980. The buyer is all in $48.49. It's the type of thing that most people think is not going to be worth anything. Most like regular people, but like booksellers know, like, that is so specific. It's definitely going to have some value. But anyways, because I am using these AI listers now, like, I'm getting my money back from the thrift stores, from the eBay stuff, faster than I'm getting it back from the Amazon stuff, which I find interesting. Mostly just because, like, I have to ship it to Amazon. It's got to be checked in the warehouse. And then Amazon has to decide they want to pay me for that however much later. You know, it can easily be 3-4 weeks later. But with this eBay stuff, I can have it up that day, have something sold that day, money back in my pocket in like 24, 48 hours, which is great. Texas Co-op Power. Recipes from Co-op Kitchens. Pretty cool. Let's see here. Buyer is all in $22.21. I got this from a bookstore in Texas that will sometimes... Actually, he doesn't even have a bookstore anymore. A bookseller in Texas that will sometimes send me all their local cookbooks. So yeah, glad to see that one go. I do pay $2 a piece for them, which is a bit much, especially when I'm also paying for shipping to me. But he'll send me 50 or 60 of them all at once, right to my door. Don't have to go out and find them. It's great. The only problem is they do sell slowly. Oh, next, already packaged it up. I showed you guys this a minute ago. This was one of the knobs off of our old washing machine, like clothes washer. Buyer is all in $20.80. I think there was 4 of the same knob, if I remember correctly. And it's going to cost me $4.22 to ship it out. See, I pulled off, I think, 5 total knobs, because there's 4 that were the same, 1 different one. And then I pulled off another part off of there. So, you know what? Maybe stick like $100, $120 in my pocket or something for all those parts. That goes a long ways towards like paying for the new washing machine. Definitely doesn't get you there, but like definitely helps. Sewing machine parts, like a switch and the plug-in. Buyer is all in $22.75. And this is a good price point, I feel like, for replacement parts. if you are messing around with that at all, like the $20 to $25 range, I feel like is a value that most people are willing to pay to get whatever item it is that they have fixed and up and running again. Anything over that, I feel like for most things, it's kind of hard for people to swallow that $30 bill to get a part to replace something, unless that thing is super expensive. Washing machine, those are super expensive, so I could see somebody paying $50, $60, $70 for a part, but probably not for the knob. Maybe for like a computer board or something like that they feel is going to be more substantial. I'm going to add just a little bit of bubble wrap to these books. Probably should not, because this listing was really not worth it. Ugh, it's not even going to fit in this box. It kind of fits. We're just going to go for it. I'm using the wrong tape. I'm so sorry. Let me switch. I'm supposed to be using the silent tape. Is that better? I always forget to do that in these videos. Oh man, this is bad. This is like bubbled up. Not how I like to do that. But anyways, this is 5 Junior League cookbooks, like Junior League of Louisiana or whatever. These are ones that are not worth listing on their own, which typically the Junior League cookbooks are not worth listing on their own because they just printed a bunch of them over a bunch of years. Buyer is all in here, $23.22. Ground Saver is going to be the cheapest, UPS by 20 cents. So that's my second UPS package of the day. Yeah, not too bad. So we've saved like $4. The other one was a little bit more than $4. Probably about $4.50 so far on UPS. Next up, running low on these boxes. I need to restock. 10 by 8 by 6. Can you hear my kids in the other room? They're being dinosaurs. So, probably can't hear them, but sounds pretty funny right now. This one we are going to put in all of these CDs. Let's just see what this guy got. What is this? This is like Greek music. He mostly got world music. He actually asked me if I was into world music, Vietnam music. I told him no, I just had bought a collection. Quebec music, Cuban music, South African music, some sort of Latin music. It says Caliente on it. Music of Niger, music of Sweden, music of Serbia. I think he might have searched my store for music of, looks like pure Hawaiian. Here is a jazz sampler. There's 2 volumes here. That had been in the store a long time. So had this. I think these are some sort of like classical music. There's 3 volumes of that. And last but not least, he picked up this lot. This had not been in the store very long. One of the more recent listings. There are 7 Latin music CDs. Ugh. There we go. That's going to fit in there nicely. Let's just add some dunnage. I keep like all the packing paper over there that I get from packages delivered to us. That way I can easily reuse it. It's one of those things, it does not really save the business much money, but you know what? It's good to recycle a little bit. We're out of quiet tape. Oh no. Let's change it out. It's good to recycle a little bit. It probably does save us a little bit of money. And it helps reduce the trash, the waste that we produce. And I really messed up this week. Totally missed trash day. Totally forgot. We had some visitors over Friday night. Our trash day is Saturday morning. I'm gonna blame it on the visitors, but it's really not their fault. But that just kind of threw me off my routine, and I just forgot. So yeah. Now this buyer was wanting a deal on all these CDs since they were getting so many. They wanted me to look at their cart, but there's no way for us as sellers to look at what is it exactly in a buyer's cart. They wanted to know what kind of deal they would make me. They told me they had like 13 items in their cart. And what I typically do with people like that is I just offer them free shipping. The way I have my listings set up and my business policy set up, it does not do a good job of combining shipping. And so they're seeing some sort of outrageous shipping rate. Like I think this guy was saying $40 for a shipping rate, which is something I really probably need to fix on the back end. And I can ship this for $8.22. So I just told him, hey, go ahead and check out, and then I'll refund all your shipping charges right away. And he liked that. So it only cost me $8.22 to ship this out. But it made him really happy, made this deal go through. It worked out nicely. So $8.22 to ship all that to him. I think that's a great discount for him. Let's do this one next. Should not have set that other one aside. Should have just done it. But career counseling, a holistic approach. Buyer is all in $30.49. I picked up a bunch of these at, I'll just tell you where it was. It was at a Walls. A Walls is kind of like a Big Lot. They had so many books on their shelves. And most of these were from Amazon. They're mostly Amazon rentals. And most of them were in pretty bad condition. It was like rentals that had come back that Amazon had decided was not in good enough condition to reuse or to send out again for next year. And so I bought a ton of them. I've been listing them in acceptable condition on eBay. A few were in good enough condition. I actually sent back to Amazon and they were also publishers where I wasn't really worried about running into issues with. You know, the Pearsons, the McGraw-Hills, list those on eBay. But we made some good money at that store. Very good place. Buyer is all in $30.49. I paid $1 for that book. So glad to see that one going out. Should be a lot more of that type of stuff going out soon. Next up, The Settlement Cookbook, The Way to a Man's Heart by Miss Simon Kander. I find this one usually a couple times a year. It always sells, not for a ton. Every time I find it, it is in poor condition. Buyer paid $17.12. I have one more of these in my store right now, but it is in very bad condition. That's probably why it hasn't sold yet. But that's a book I find fairly frequently. It does weigh 2 pounds, it looks like. Oops. It's on the wrong line there. Almost bought shipping for the wrong thing. That could have been bad. There we go. Up next, sewing machine parts. Got this little knob. You just pull it off. This sewing machine, I've sold almost every part to it except for I had 2 of these left and then 2 other random parts. And then this part, this is actually off a serger. For the serger, those I ask a little bit more money for because the machine is worth a little bit more money. And I know the buyer will pay a little bit more to get it fixed. So this buyer is actually all in $30.35. I know that kind of goes against what I said earlier about I want the buyer to be all in $20 to $25. That's because this machine cost probably an extra $150 than the other machine that I was talking about and most of the other machines that I deal with. So I knew the buyer would be willing to pay a little bit more for it. This knob here, I accepted an offer on, partially because I had 2 knobs and partially because I just want to move sewing machine parts if I have a buyer for them. And this buyer was all in $15.65. It's going to cost me $4.57 for the label. So I think sewing machine parts could be a great category for somebody that's like technically inclined. The big problem with them is sell-through rate absolutely horrendous, even worse than used media. So like absolutely horrendous sell-through rate. Next up, we've got one of these Betty Crocker new cookbooks. Biggest problem I have with these is shipping them. I don't think there's a good way to ship them. I like to put a little bit of bubble wrap inside where it doesn't feel like this thing's going to be squished. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And maybe that's the stuff that I don't need to do. I'm trying to take some pressure off that spine, basically, so the spine doesn't break. I then cover them in bubble wrap, add a little piece of tape, and throw it into a poly mailer. The reason I do that is I don't have a bubble mailer big enough for these yet. I'm going to be ordering some. I meant to do that on Friday, but I did not. So that's how I'm shipping them. I've shipped them in boxes before. They're usually not worth quite enough to justify buying a box and spending the time on a box. But I'd be much happier with these sales if I had a quick and efficient way to ship them. Buyer is all in $17.72. This is going to be at a £3 rate. Let's see here. Do you think that qualifies for bound printed matter? It's 3 rings. I'm not sure. I should research that. I'm going to ship it media mail. Probably qualifies for bound printed matter. Is 3-ringed a 3-ring binder considered binding by the USPS? Who knows? Let's see. I think these next ones are going to have to go in a box. Let's use this box. Only seeing 2 things left up here. Let's see if that's true or not. One thing about the tape, it's just not sticky enough. It's like I've got to lay it down and attach it to the box. It's fine once it's attached to the box, especially because, I'm always overlapping it, attaching tape to tape. Up next, we got a lot of, I think this was 12 books. R.A. Salvatore, Forgotten Realms. This was like 1 through 12 in the series, 1 through 13, something like that. I think there was a few more books in the series, but not a ton more. Actually got these with trade-in credit at one of my local bookstores. And let's see what the buyer paid. Discard changes. Hang on. Buyer paid $86.72. That was honestly right around what I've used for store trading credit. It was one of those days where I didn't feel like I had quite a bit of credit, $80 or whatever. And I did not feel like scanning the shelves and looking for like single books or books that would do okay. I was just kind of wanting to use my credit and get out of there. A little bit more donation. So I just kind of got this and I figured I could get basically all of my credit back out. Probably lost a little bit on fees, but that's totally fine. Because credit is not real money. At least bookstore credit. I usually try, if I have like $100 of store credit, to turn that into like $120, $130 in my pocket. This one, I changed $80 of store credit probably into $50, $60 in my pocket, which is totally fine. Let's see. This one will be interesting. I have no idea where this is going to go. This weighs 7 pounds. Let's enter the dimensions in. This is 12 by 12 by 6. And let's see what the rate is. It says FedEx is the cheapest. I do not go to FedEx, but I can do bound printed matter. That is actually cheaper. $6.03. Not bad. So yeah, probably put $60 in my pocket or something from like, I think it was around $80 in store credit. I could be wrong on that. Last one. Last one was one of the very few items in my store that still does not have a SKU, a storage location. Oh, I'm like halfway sick, so hopefully you're not hearing a bunch of snot in there. Or it's getting hard for me to talk. But you guys have been here for probably 40 minutes at this point. So if you're still watching, you're probably not going away because of that. So this was one of the last few things in my store. Did not have a SKU. These are Newsweek books, Milestones of History. Buyer is all in $58.25. A lot of that is shipping charges. Looks like I had a lot of shipping charges on this one. But this one did not have a SKU because some of my big book sets, they used to all go just on the same shelf in storage back when I had the storage units. Most of those by now have either sold or I've put them on a particular shelf here and actually put a SKU on that. But this one has not. Let's go ahead and fill this up all the way. So, when this one sold and it did not have a SKU on it, I was just a little nervous. I'm not used to things not having a SKU anymore. There we go. Let's see if this weighs. This one weighs a bunch. 30 pounds, just a hair under 30 pounds. This might go UPS. Let's check. Enter dimensions. I think 30 pounds, though, is going to be medium mail. Ooh, UPS ground saver, $20.22. Medium mail would have been $26.22. So we ended up saving $6 there. I think like $4.25 on the other package, around 20 cents on the other one. Ended up saving like $10.50 to drive to UPS today. Is that worth it? Maybe not. I could schedule a UPS pickup for $6. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, that's everything we got going out today. We are done, believe it or not. That was 30 orders. Not sure what they paid for everything here today, but like I said, we had like a $688 payout from eBay this morning, right? Yeah, this morning. Ooh, somebody sent an offer for a sewing machine part. Let's see what their offer is. It's a part that does not sell well. $13. We are going to take that. Accept it. Anyways, this has been my Monday morning shipping video. If you guys like these, where I just ramble, maybe you're listening to them while you work or something, go ahead and subscribe. I film these on Monday, put them out on Tuesday every single week. Thursday is more of a topical type video where we talk about something else. Maybe we talk about a big purchase that I've bought, or we do a how-to video on either eBay or Amazon, or we are doing an AI lister review type video. We've been doing a lot of those lately. But anyways, that's the format of my channel. If you guys like this, you want to do more, subscribe. If not, don't. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.